Hi guys, welcome back here again. Old porch dog for non-family members. I'm in the middle of doing a couple of different projects here. I was working on a wagon for my wrecking yard wagon, I guess they call it. Something I can drag around the wrecking yards and haul my toolbox and parts and stuff on. I wanted to make it heavy enough that it would haul an engine block if I needed to without it collapsing. After getting it built, my steering isn't the way I wanted it, so I need to get some more 1-inch square tubing so I can rebuild the front end on it. In the meantime, though, yesterday was Sunday. I'm sitting around the house here, and I'm getting bored as hell, and so I walked out to the shop to see what I could do out there, and came across an old saw blade that I'd picked up at a yard sale. I picked up a couple of them at this yard sale for, I think, a quarter a piece or 50 cents a piece, whatever the heck it was. And had planned on making a knife out of them. And I had seen this thing on TV where these Alaskan Indians, Inuit Indians, I believe they call them, they made these knives, or have these knives made, or whatever. They use them for skinning and taking the fat off the hides and that kind of stuff to prepare the hides for tanning and using them for clothing or whatever. And I went out there and decided, well, I was going to make one of these knives. I had one, many years ago, probably 35 years ago. I had one, and it said Alaska across the face of it, and I believe it was pretty much a novelty piece from Alaska that like a souvenir, because the blade didn't really have an edge on it. It was like a butter knife. You wouldn't be able to cut yourself with it if you had to. But I liked it for cutting cilantro and that kind of stuff, because it had this rocking motion that was really nice for cutting, for cutting up the cilantro. But the problem was that without an edge on the blade, it just pretty much crushed the stuff instead of cutting through it. So I've taken this here, and this is the type of saw blade I use. It's the old crisscross type, where they bend them from one side to the other, and it's not the carbide tipped blades by any means. So, I've got a lot of those that have carbide tips on the blades, or tungsten tips, or whatever the heck they are, and they do a fantastic job of cutting. And these things here, they just rip the shit out of your wood and leave marks all over it. So when I bought these, I had planned on doing this with this blade and making these knives, and I'm planning on taking this larger blade and making a larger knife, and I figure I can get a couple more inches out of it this way. But this is the type of blade I used anyway. And this one here, with the I don't know if I can put this on camera here. Let's see if I can put it like this. I guess maybe that would be all right. But with the rocking motion like this here, you just turn it back and forth, and it cuts right through the cilantro, and you pretty soon you have a whole pile of it, and it's all cut up with no problem. I love the rocking motion of it. You can slash with it with no problem, if you had to. With the rocking motion of it like that, it works fantastic for this, cutting up, your spices and stuff. If you want to chop up, let's see here, cilantro or garlic or that kind of stuff, you can go through it pretty fast that way. This one here, after playing around with it a little bit out in the garage here, it came out a little bit sharper than, say, the other one that I had that was pretty much a souvenir. And you can actually cut with this one here. So I'm hoping that it works out pretty good in the kitchen for me. But anyway, that was my Sunday project. Hope you like it. If you guys get bored, there's an idea. It only took me a day to make it. I kind of wish I had been able to get to my table saw a little bit better, but I could, I cut the slice down the center of it here for holding the blade. I didn't have rivets, so I used nuts and bolts, but couldn't get to my table saw. It was kind of buried off in the corner, so I used the bandsaw, and my cut didn't come out as straight as I wish it would have. But Hey, it's good enough for my kitchen anyway. Anyway, there's an idea for you. Hope you like it. Talk to you guys later.